what is up? You have found We Like the Blazers. I am Brandon Mullen, and with me, as always, through the screen, it is Conor Bergen. Conor, what's up, man?
Wait, I'm sorry.
What?
I'm not ready.
You're here! Oh my goodness, it's Conor. You're in the flesh. I can't believe he's here. He's at my house.
It's crazy.
Conor!
That's a little alarming.
What's up, man?
Life is good. We're in the flesh. We talked about it all season.
Yeah. So we
And-
can do cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers
Coffee.
with your coffee. I wish I had
to
more
your
coffee.
mug.
I have coffee somewhere. I don't know where it is, but yeah.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Good. This is exciting. We are in the studio that we had much talked about, and it's
And
finally
we've had so many technical lack of planning. Didn't I say that I was going to try to step into my power and use ownership language around my decision to not do this earlier? But
I mean, it's working. It's workable. That's all that matters.
for everyone who's listening to us now, we're testing studio. The audio absolutely didn't work, which is why it sounds a little questionable. What we may have, if you watch on YouTube, or that's probably the only place you can find on video, you may see. Look there. Oh, it's going to be harder, but
We should name them. Camera.
Camera 1 straight ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Camera 2 is on you. Camera 3 is on me.
Boom.
And we're just going to see if that works or not. I don't know. We even have 2 cameras in front because I'm trying to test something. But Conor, speaking of being tested, actually, let's start. How are you just as a person, really quick? Just because this is it, we could do this.
Man, life is good. The Blazers are winding down the season, which feels weird. It feels like training camp was yesterday, and the sun is like
That is weird.
absolutely shining right now in Portland. The last few
Look
days.
at this outside. I'm going to provide direction in real time as we're both still learning this, but I think that we have to do a blend of looking at each other and then looking straight ahead, and then if you want to be really tricky, to do one of these side things. So
Yeah, if we have like an individual takeaway, I think
Yeah,
we can go
we
close up.
pretend that like we're talking to several different people in a group, and we want to give different people our attention. And as I say all this, who knows how this will turn out? But back to your point. The season has flown by. It is strange. They have 3 games left.
Just two regular season games
In this 82-game season. It is beautiful out. We've had this amazing run of Portland weather, which you just couldn't ask for better. It does make me feel a little weird about what's going to happen this summer, although I did see some rain in the forecast, so I'm happy for that. We don't want any more wildfires. Like, let's can we get a break from the wildfires?
Yeah.
That'd be nice. But the Blazers, 2 games left in the season. Hot in the hunt of the play-in.
Yeah, it's not over. Like, there'll
definitely
be
not
2
over.
games, and then there'll be more games, which has not happened in 5 years.
It's amazing. The Blazers are guaranteed a home postseason game if you count the play-in as the postseason. So at this point, and remind everybody. And I should know this, but this is also part of the testing, is that like maybe in the future we'll have a laptop that we each can have. I don't know. The Blazers and the Clippers, okay?
Yes.
7 and 8?
8 and 9.
8 and 9. 8 and 9, sorry. So they're fighting for the 8 seed, fighting for the 9 seed, with 2 games remaining, and they have a game against each other, which is tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where do the Clippers stand again? Are they a full game ahead?
They're a game ahead of the Blazers right now.
1.0 games ahead?
But if the Blazers own the tiebreaker if they're able to even the season series. So if the Blazers win tomorrow, and then they take care of business against the Kings on Sunday, which, God help us, they do that. They're the 8th seed in the playoffs.
So the Blazers control their own destiny.
The play-in, yes.
That's great. If the Blazers beat the Clippers and lose their last game, they're relying on the Clippers also losing their last game?
No, the Clippers... Wait, you said if the Blazers beat the Clippers?
If they beat the Clippers,
Yeah.
but the Blazers lose their last
Oh,
game...
yes.
And
they would need the Clippers to lose.
They would need the Clippers to lose. And if the Blazers lose to the Clippers and they lose their last game and the Clippers win their last game, then the Blazers will be the 9th seed.
Yes.
Okay, so the whole thing about the Blazers get a postseason game at home, not to parse this out too much, but If they end up as the 8th seed and they win the 8-9 game, they win the 7-8 game, then they will be the 7th seed and they'll get 2 home playoff games as normal. If they are the 8th seed and they lose that game, then they will play at home in the winner of the 9-10 seed against them in their second play-in game. Mm-hmm. And if the Blazers are the 9th seed, then they will have that first game will be the 9-10 game, and they will get a home game then.
Yep.
So that is how they're guaranteed one home postseason game. Did I get that correct?
You did. You did.
This is actually a little harder without being able to type and look at stuff. I will admit, because I relied on that.
Really?
A little bit. Did you?
I got my phone always on me just in case. But I think the play and stuff.
Connor tricked me because now the phone is the alternate camera angle that we don't even know if it's going to work or not. So I'm completely phoneless, but I want a pat on the back for memorizing all that.
Yeah. Basically, tomorrow is the most important Blazers game
of all time.
Of all time. My friend the other day was like, "That's going to be the most important Blazers game I've ever I'll ever go to in my life."
No.
And I was like, that is really depressing. I hope it's not. And he said, oh, no, sorry, that I've been to in my life. And I was like, okay, that's...
Is this a newer Blazers fan?
No, he's kind of been around. He just hasn't been to many playoff games or,
Oh, they mean in person?
Yes.
Okay.
In person.
Got it.
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I get that. It's certainly the most significant game they will have played in years.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. How are you feeling about this matchup?
I think, okay, they went up to LA a week or so ago, kind of similar stakes on the line, where it was you need to win this for this crucial play-in hunt, and they just delivered an Amazon Prime game. They came in with the energy.
They came in with that same-day delivery.
That coveted Amazon Prime energy.
Oh, man, that had someone crawling on their porch and dumping it off real quick, and it was right there.
But that was a test, and they stepped up to the plate, and they nailed it. And so that gives me some confidence that heading to this game, they can come with the requisite energy that is needed. It's going to be at home this time. I'm very curious to see if the Moda Center is aware of how important the game is.
I think they will be.
Yeah, if they deliver.
I'm kind of curious if a little esoteric of a thought, but if the ticket pricing, which I imagine... I haven't looked. I'm assuming that this is an expensive game to attend at this point. But it always feels like if you are able to get the ticket prices down, the crowd's better.
Yeah.
Which I have a whole nother philosophical thought about the Moda Center renovations and the rationale behind that, and that it's to cater to wealthier fans and have more luxury suites and whatever. We're gonna leave that aside, but I think that the Portland fans will deliver, Connor. I trust Portland fans are engaged. They know what's happening.
Yeah,
they know the deal. I think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It's a Friday night game. I think that helps a lot. I think people will be uninhibited. They don't got to go to work tomorrow.
They can let the beer...
They can get drunk! Which, by the way, again, speaking of the Moda Center, that is why we need street pricing at all of the vendors at Moda Center, the same way as we do... at PDX to get people completely sloshed.
Dundon might, and we'll get to that, but Dundon, that's kind of his MO, that's what he did
getting people drunk, so they get real loud for the crowd.
He's about the fan experience and cutting those concession prices.
That's fair.
But the Blazers, in this game, the Clippers are good. They're not, the Kawhi Leonard has been playing the Kawhi Leonard of old.
It's the best he's played in years.
So this is
just pretty annoying.
Yeah, it's right, of course, now when it really matters for us. But it's gonna be it's not gonna be an easy win. They should probably be the underdogs heading into it. I'm more looking for if they respond spiritually to this game, if they are in it, if it's a fight.
Yeah.
If they come in and
do you have any question about that, though?
I don't... Well, sometimes they put up duds, and I'm
They do, but this... sorry to interrupt you, but, of all games for them... And they did deliver against the Clippers in LA recently. Mm-hmm. But of all games for them, to understand what the deal is, this is that game. Again, the most important game the team has played in years. Don't you have confidence?
That's it. You know what? I should. I guess my real concern is, are they good enough to do it?
That's more fair, because, I mean, the Clippers are going to think the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and Kawhi Leonard, I've overused this word, but as mercurial as the gentleman may be, he's a very good player. And he's been very good this season. And I don't have any doubt that Kawhi Leonard will do what he needs to do. I mean, he showed up in big moments in his career. I think the Clippers will be ready. I think the Blazers will be ready. I think this is going to be a great fucking game. I think if you have not been closely following the Blazers these last couple of years, which is completely fair, you should tune into this game. It's going to be good. Like, I feel confident that this is, it's going to feel like a playoff game. And even, like, sometimes, Connor, you get, like, the best games of an NBA season are actually the very end of the regular season. People are fighting for position because it's kind of like Game 7 in a way, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not even like Game 1. It's not like your LeBron feel-out game of the first round of the playoffs. So, like, I'm excited just as a basketball fan, as a hooper, someone who likes basketball, likes watching it. I'm excited.
Me too, and I would love for them to avoid the 9-10 game because I do not want to see Stephen Curry. Like, yeah. I just have this image.
I know. There's been too many memories.
I have this trauma of Stephen Curry eliminating the Trailblazers. And I think the Blazers would beat Golden State, but it's like in one game at the Moda Center, I could see Stephen Curry just going berserk.
As I heard, our second camera clicked off, so we're definitely looking at the webcam, for sure.
Yeah.
I knew there was a thing. Sorry to interrupt you. There used to be, or there is a thing, there was weird hardware restrictions around older DSLR cameras that would only allow them to do video for so long before they clicked off. I don't think that's a thing anymore, but this camera's old enough to where that is a thing, and so I heard it click, and so we're dead. We're on the webcam. That's fine. That's why we had to back up.
That's all right, yeah.
Maybe we'll get like a couple alternate angles at the beginning, like, wow, look how good that looks. And then it's like,
It's high tech.
Sorry. Continue.
Oh, I think I made my point. Like, let's get to that 8 seed.
Yeah.
Hopefully try to avoid
the 9-10.
Avoid 9-10.
Well, okay, so yes, I agree. Like, at any given game, I'm going to take Steph Curry, the player, even at his age, even coming off an injury, over literally anyone else that would be on that court. And wouldn't it be so sweet? I want to see the look on Draymond's face. I want to see him arguing. I want to see, like, I would really love to see a Draymond-Donovan Clingan interaction.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, like, as Donovan Clingan continues blooming as a player, getting more consistent, establishing himself as a legitimate NBA player, I would love to see them get into a scrap or something. I just think that'd be fun.
Clingan is feisty, and the better he always kind of had a bit of an edge, but now that he's been playing so well and he's kind of coming into his own, he's got a lot more swagger and he's talking. It seems like a lot more shit.
Talking more shit. I mean, he's not this kind of player, but really the kind of player I hope that Donovan Clingan kind of emulates is a Steven Adams type who, like, doesn't necessarily talk shit, but is, like, totally immovable. Right? Like, I mean, just someone who would love to see Draymond try to get under his skin and Donovan Clingan come back at him, not with, like, heat and words, but with just this immovable presence of, I'm 7'2" and you can't fucking touch me. That would be super cool. And, like, and who knows, again, Donovan Clingan and Steven Adams are different players.
But it's just like an enforcer type.
Yeah. I think that'd be nice.
It brings up the point of, like, we have not seen these young guys in heated games like this.
Right.
And that's going to be so exciting.
It's been a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it will be also interesting to, like, maybe a little bit of, like, Dame watch. Like, what's he doing on the bench? And, like, I'm sure he cares deeply about this stuff. And he's excited to be back on the court. It would also be funny for him to, like, rip off the warm-ups. Like, Dame's available. Not going to happen. Shouldn't happen.
Wouldn't that be...
It'd be so cool.
Yeah, It'd
be cool. Just stand in the corner and shoot threes. I'd love it. Probably not going to happen. All right, so that's... I mean, we painted the picture of the Blazers playing. Go ahead.
I do want to make one point. I meant to say this earlier. Is, like, why I'm a little worried about them. Are they good enough?
Yeah.
They've been... Ever since that January hot streak and then Denny Avdia's back injury, it seems like they've been kind of chasing to get back to that quality and like that level of just competitive edge and just quality, like being able to go against better teams. Like they have very few wins against non-tanking teams since February started. So I'm just kind of like, which Blazers team shows up? Is it going to be kind of the one that... It's like there's a lot of variance.
Yeah.
They could be the highs, they could be up there in January, they could be down there where they're getting blown out by the Nuggets by like 50 points.
I hear what you're saying. It's not that I don't agree. I do have some level of trust that the Blazers know that this is like the game. Like that's the thing. It's not just that it's an important game. It's like the game. Mm-hmm. It's the game. If you can't show up properly for this game,
maybe make some changes.
and
Dundon.
like Dundon's watching, but like I think I'm gonna hang on the point you made earlier, which is this is likely to be just like who is the better team. I will say I'm a little concerned about who is the better coach. Because coaching matters, and especially if it's like right on the margin, right on the razor's edge, one way or the other. Could a really well executed sideline out of bounds play make the difference? Totally. Who do I trust more in that situation? Ty Lue. Mm-hmm. So, and like no shade on Splitter, but like that's just that's how I feel about it. Anything else to say about that? Oh, good.
Splitter's unproven, and like he's literally coaching for his job right now. So this is going to be one of the tests.
I also feel like Splitter will get a different job somewhere else, either as an assistant or a head coach.
Yeah,
is my sense. I don't think this will be his last stop if this is not his gig.
I agree.
The most likely thing to happen is that he'll go be an assistant somewhere else and then turn into a head coach, given that second chance. And I think that Splitter will eventually be a good coach. I don't know why I feel that way, because there's not like a lot of... it's not like we have a huge sample size, but like I like his temperament. I like the cut of his jib. So I feel confident about that.
And he came in with a pedigree. Like he came in with the head coaching experience. He came in as the hot kind of assistant on the market. So like, and he's young. Like, though that makes me think.
How old is he?
He's like, I think late 30s, maybe early 40s.
Younger than me.
Yeah, he's a young lad.
Fuck.
But that, like, it would be kind of absurd if his one head coaching chance was like this bizarre interim head coach.
Like, as opposed to what's happening to Chauncey Billups? No update. Moving on. Anything else to say about the play-in?
No. Let's see what happens. And like I'm excited personally to cover some games with this amount of stakes, because last year obviously that didn't happen. So like from a reporting experience of being in the building, I'm curious to see how it changes. And bring it on.
I will say is the Blazers are, if they make the actual playoffs, will either be the 7th or 8th seed. I can't help but kind of longingly look at the standings over to a certain team in Texas and be like, man, the Blazers would be a 60-win team if they'd gotten Wemby. It's so annoying.
Yeah.
60 wins, good job, Spurs. Like that's pretty impressive. Let's move on if that's all right. Can we talk about the introductory press conference that new Blazers majority governor Tom Dundon and friends had with media members, including Conor and Brandon, at the Moda Center recently. Connor, let's start with some insider baseball, some behind-the-scenes, backdoor handshakes. I'm curious, like, leading up to Dundon and company stepping onto the stage, what was the vibe like? What was the buzz amongst y'all journalistas? Was there, like, some pregame chatter about, like, what Tom Dundon could be or is, or was it like pretty standard fare? I do. Sorry to interrupt, but like I remember like when Lamar Hurd, who was kind of emceeing it, he made a comment that they're not often in the space in which you were in, and so I don't know if that played into it. But how was the vibe for you, kind of walking in before Tom Dundon stepped onto the stage?
Well, we walked into the it's the Rose Room. It's like this kind of like banquet room, in the bowels of the Moda Center that like
in the large in the appendix.
Yeah, it's in the Moda Center.
Hey, only one of us is missing an appendix in this room.
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're feeling better, by the way.
Did we talk about that? Yeah, anyway, appendix.
We'll get to that, man.
Yeah.
But we go to the Rose Room.
That's the important stuff.
We go to the Rose Room. I'd only been in that room once before. It was when they had the Damian Lillard reintroductory press conference in the summer. So, like, it's a room reserved for major events.
Okay.
What immediately stood out to me was just how packed it was.
Yeah.
Like, there was so many... Obviously, journalists, you had team employees, you had Blazers alumni, and like there was just kind of a chatter.
Did you have some like looky-loos? Some people whose maybe their job, it wasn't specifically to be there, but they made time to be there because they wanted to see it?
I think so, yeah. Like, a lot of people, a lot of faces I didn't recognize, but like, just, it was, yeah. Like, I don't know who they were.
Did you see me? I snuck in, I was in the corner, I was like, ooh.
But, the point is, though, that I was talking to some of the other longtime journalists, and they were like, I've never seen this amount of people for something. Like, It did carry kind of the weight of, like, this is a historic thing happening right here. And there was a lot of, I think, anticipation because of some recent interviews that Dundon had given to the Oregonian and to The Athletic, where he came across... not very flattering, and I think we're going to talk a little bit more about that. So I think there was just a lot of like, okay, how is he going to come across right now? And like, how is this going to go? Like, there was so much uncertainty.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are, I think, concerned about their jobs too. So like, you had that kind of weight of it. So it was an unusual kind of atmosphere leading into a press conference, one that I had not experienced yet.
And when you say unusual atmosphere, just because there were so many people you didn't recognize, people kind of felt that, hey, this is a big moment. It's an ownership change. What can you share, and sorry to keep pressing on this, but I'm interested, was there any like pregame conversation you had with anyone that you had worked with before where they like said something that like made you, oh, that's interesting, like I haven't, blah, 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 or like was it like I'm just, I don't know why I'm so invested in this, but
the scene.
Maybe you already answered the question. Maybe that's
the main thing was when the person next to me was like, "I've never seen this before."
That's fair. And I, as someone who was not there, this point about like the looky-loos and the people who aren't usually there didn't need to be there. I remember for myself when I worked at City Hall and they were doing some kind of proclamation about the Blazers, and I knew that Neil Olshey and Terry Stotts were going to be in the building. I think the statute of limitations has run out, Connor. You could be damn sure that I rescheduled my lunch to make sure I was in that council chamber and that I was hovering after they were done, and I ran out and I made sure to get a picture with Terry Stotts, which is one of my... I'm not like a huge take a picture with a person guy, but I knew I wanted that picture. So anyway, all to say that like that was a day when council chambers was packed because it was like people like me who normally wouldn't be there who were there because of the moment. And so it sounds like it was the same thing for this event. All right, so Tom Dundon swaggers onto the stage, the majority governor of this new ownership group, which is cobbled together several different people, and they're putting in their hundreds of millions here and their hundreds of millions there. It's just, thinking about the cost the Blazers sold for north of $4 billion is staggering. I also want to make a point to that, like, remember all the conversation and consternation that we had about why didn't Jody Allen sell to Phil Knight? Remind me how much Phil Knight
I think he offered $2 billion. Was it $2 billion?
2. Do you know what's bigger than 2? 3. You want to know what's bigger than 3? 4. So, Jody Allen, good job.
Yeah,
Bert Cole.
Some shrewd business acumen.
The Paul Allen Memorial Trust did well to wait, okay? Because double the price is a big deal. So Tom Dundon swaggers onto the stage, and you've got Lamar Hurd, who is usual engaged, positive, authentic self. By the way, Lamar Hurd, I love him as a commentator. I love him as a person, and you will never hear me say a cross word about Lamar Hurd or even think a sideways thought. So the dude goes up there and sets the scene, which he does really well. And Tom Dundon was then the first to speak.
Yes.
So what was your impression? And I want to be mindful of you and I have different roles. You are a reporter. You are a journalist. I am a guy who talks. And so I'm not trying to dig deep into the the wellspring of all of the different thoughts you may have had. But like what I want you to give your impression of Tom Dundon, first time seeing him in person, and then I would also like to share my own. What was your impression of seeing Tommy Diesel up on the stage?
The first takeaway, it was a positive press conference. Like he came across much more likable than I expected after some of those interviews. He came across as much more down to earth, even for a billionaire. I think that he gave those interviews with The Athletic and The Oregonian, and he kind of came across as like this hardcore guy who loves to win, and maybe he's like a little antagonistic towards the city when talking about the business dealings of the Moda Center and getting the renovations, which like it's his job right now to be in those, kind of hold the upper hand in the negotiations. But like he made a couple comments, at least in those interviews, that rubbed me the wrong way, and there was none of those vibes in the press conference. He was cracking some jokes. You saw like before the game later, he's out on the court getting autographs for his kids. Like, yes, he came across as intense, and you see that and when he talks about winning, when he talks about the standards he wants to set. But just all in all, I felt much more assured about him being the owner, and when he took questions about relocation concerns.
Yeah.
He did everything he said everything he could right now without, like, he's not going to outright say they're going to stay because he's trying to get as much money as he can from the city. But like while holding that upper hand, he said enough things about like, oh, when I bought the hockey team, everybody thought I was going to move them. I never even thought about that. When they were talking about they want $600 million right now.
Yeah.
Mike Richmond asked a great question about, is there a world where you don't get $600 million? Yeah. And he kind of made a joke and said, like $599, and it got some laughs.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, like
I thought that was funny. That was a good joke.
And it made me wonder if some of the comments he made in the written interviews that we saw, if there was a little bit
translate.
Yeah, if there was a little more sarcasm or just a little more like.
I totally sorry to. Keep going.
Oh, maybe wonder if there was a little more like wink wink behind some of those comments.
A little dry, a little wry.
A little wry humor.
A little Larry David.
Exactly. Yeah. So like afterwards, I just felt
$5.99.
I felt better about. Oh, and he said not only $5.99, but then after that joke, he gave a pretty diplomatic answer. But he said like, I've been in negotiations all the time. It's normally not the first number thrown out. So, like, he did kind of say there is a path.
I thought that was the most important answer he gave all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you agree with that? You don't have to.
It's up there for sure.
I have to. Can I share a couple thoughts?
Yep.
I thought that was the most important answer he gave the whole time, which was, to your point, it was like, like $600 million. I don't want to like incorrectly paraphrase it, but it was some version of, I've never been involved in a negotiation where you throw out something and you just will not budge off of that. There are so many different variables other than just money that go into negotiations, which is totally true, and I have my own personal opinions about that. And I thought that was the most important answer. It basically told me, and look, I am going to take Tom Dundon in good faith. I'm going to take him at his word, and that's the kind of person that I am. And so when he says he's going to negotiate, I'll take him at his word. I think that's great. So I agree. I know that we've talked about like the funding mechanisms for Moda, and I do want to like touch on that in a second. But to go back to your point about how he came across, my opinion is I totally agree. I was prepared to really, really not care for him, and the fact that I left feeling like, I think speaks to I don't mean this in a derogatory, that he gave a good performance. And he did. Like, I agree. Like, I thought some of his jokes were kind of dry, kind of funny. Mm-hmm. I don't think this is someone that I would want to be my best friend, but I don't think that's what you want in an owner. I did get the sense that, like, his comment about negotiating and just other things he said, that it's not his first choice to move the team. I do believe that. I think he would prefer, and I think it would make more financial sense for him to keep the team. I will say something he didn't say, but I think is true. He's going to do whatever is financially prudent for him. And if that includes moving the team, he'll do that. You can't necessarily begrudge someone for that, even if we might not like it, but I don't get the sense that he wants to do that. And so all to say, I came away with a more positive impression of Tom Dundon than I expected. And I'm not sure what else someone like me could have asked for.
Yeah, I think if you want to look at like one like negative takeaway I had, and it kind of depends on how you look at it. It doesn't even have to be negative, but I was hoping he would show a little more love to Portland as a city.
He should have. He totally should have done more homework and more prep,
and that's the thing. I just don't think he cares, and like
you have to kind of fucking pretend to care, bro. Go ahead.
Well, I kind of came away with like, because I grew up in Portland, I have this like hometown love for Portland, and I wanted to see Tom Dundon like kiss the baby and also validate my feelings about Portland, and he got teed up a question. He got asked, why Portland, why now? And he chose to handle it with some more wry humor. And he said, because I got called up and said an NBA team was for sale. And it's like kind of like, wow, okay, when you got pitched to come buy this team in my city, you gave like...
I actually don't...
just like he gave it wasn't like, an NBA team was for sale. Also, Portland is a great city and a great fan base. I would have loved that.
Yeah,
He didn't do it.
That's right.
And I think what you're gonna maybe have to be, as fans, like willing to take is just that Tom Dundon isn't maybe gonna show this huge love for Portland. And as long as he's a good owner, and keeps the team here, that maybe doesn't matter.
Here's what I'll say. I don't know why this popped in my head, but I'm just going to note it that as the Blazers pre-Tom Dundon have been doing a better job of connecting with Blazers alum. Who was sitting next to Tom Dundon last game?
LaMarcus Aldridge.
Noted. I agree. You did a perfect job of framing out how he should have answered the question. You can still go with that first answer, and clearly it's an opportunity to say something about the city. I think it is whoever prepped him, or to your point, maybe nobody prepped him, maybe he didn't care. That is inexcusable that you can't pull a couple of earnest, authentic statements about Portland as a city, because Portland is a cool city. And there's a lot of cool stuff, and like any city in the U.S., even the ones that I don't prefer to visit or even think about, you could absolutely pull a bunch of good stuff about that city, and you should have that at the ready, and it shouldn't be fake. It should be something you've experienced, or I went to this restaurant, or I went to this place, or someone told me about this, or whatever. And the fact that he didn't have that was, like, I thought kind of weird.
Yeah, I think that's the only, like...
Yeah.
One of the only negative, like, sour notes of the whole press conference. And it's not like... It's not like a huge glaring red flag.
No, and maybe you could argue the other side of it, which is like, thank you for being authentic, Tom Dundon, right? Like, thank you for not bullshitting. And here's what the point I wanted to make about LaMarcus Aldridge being there and the Blazers doing a better job of connecting with alum. If you were to fast forward even like 6-7 years, what percentage would you put of Damian Lamont Ollie Lillard being one of the owners of the team?
I would say like 75%.
I know, exactly.
Doesn't it feel right?
And remember, Dame has made his career earnings, and not to say that this is the number, but I also trust Dame. He just strikes me as someone who probably is financially responsible and is investing well. His career earnings are like $500 million or more at this point. He's got enough money to be one of the owners. And if Dame is one of the owners, he will be visible. And if Dame is one of the owners of the team and visible, guess who actually likes Portland? Mm-hmm. So he would be the person who is like, I'm part of the ownership group who gives a shit about the city. And I feel like unless something... I mean, Dame and Tom don't have a deep relationship yet. But unless they rub each other the wrong way, I'm with you. It feels beyond... I would almost... Certain is a strong way to put it. It feels very likely that Dame will be an owner of the Blazers, and I think everybody will be clapping and cheering for that. Mm-hmm. So all to say, if that's one of your owners, maybe you don't need Tom Dundon to be such a Portland guy because you've got the Portland guy on your ownership.
Well, I think we are forgetting somebody in this whole equation.
No!
Don't do it to the Portland guy in the ownership group.
No, okay, keep going.
The young, the affable, Shield Tile. First things first, we talked about wanting love for Portland, a little bit more, kissing the baby. They got Shield Tile for that. That is like his number one service.
This is what you have. What happens when you calibrate totally. So we said kiss the baby, not smother the baby. And as someone who has a baby,
I don't mind it as much. It comforts me that Shield Tile is there, and that he is so about Portland. He's been here since 2024. He's getting some flack for like being a dude who just moved to Portland and is like, oh my god, this city's amazing. It was amazing. It can be better. I don't like. I believe him mostly. Like I believe it mostly. So maybe it's a little over the top how much he's pitching his love for Portland.
It should be noted, and correct me if I'm wrong, either you or anyone who watches this later. His wife is the director of the Oregon Health Authority.
She is since 2023.
So I'm not saying that him and his family aren't invested in Oregon and in Portland. Can I give my take on how his performance, again, not derogatory, but his performance struck me?
Please.
It's too much! It's too much! Tone it down! I just, listen, like, and not even to mention the point which I had somehow forgotten about what he said, the comment about Portland, I'll get to that, but I think if you move somewhere and you've been there for a year or two, you have to appropriately calibrate. You need to, we mentioned Larry David, you need to curb your enthusiasm. A touch. I think that, like, it felt like, speaking of prep, it felt like they're like, all right, you're going to come out and be like the Portland guy.
Yeah, no, there's a good cop, bad cop thing between him and Dundon.
I think what would have played for me as someone who, I wasn't born in Portland. I was born in Oregon, lived 95% of my life here, and I've lived in Portland for over a decade. I would have preferred, and this is how I try to relate to my time in Portland because I haven't been here my whole life, but like some version of we love it here. Like this isn't our home, and we've only been here for a few years, but this city is super, super cool. It's been really fun to learn about. Like there's so much more to explore. Like it's a cool place. Like I've been in a couple different places, and like, but he was like, Portland is our home, blah, 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 blah. It's like, you haven't, like, and I'm not trying to, like, gatekeep who's allowed to say where your home is, because, I mean, for me, even, like, in the first couple of years of living here, I felt like Portland was more home than Corvallis ever was, and that's the truth. So, like, maybe this is unfair of me, but it felt like it was a little over the top.
It definitely feels like, you kind of said, it's strategic. Strategic a little bit, where, like, they have laid out, you are going to be smothering Portland praise. Dundon's going to be a little more buttoned up and businesslike.
Which I feel like all they had to have done is just said, just be honest about what you've experienced in Portland so far, and that would have come across.
Yeah.
Well,
there is another important point though that we talked about Damian Lillard. Were you able to read the Jason Quick profile of Shield Tile?
No,
I had the pleasure partly because I wrote the aggregation piece on Blazers Edge. But Shield Tile, you know who he's friends with? Damian Lillard. No. No, I don't run in those circles. No.
With Damian
Lillard.
Okay, cool.
Before he even became a part of the ownership group.
Did he talk about that?
Not at the press conference. But
he probably should have.
Yeah,
that would have played a lot better with people like me. Like, oh, you know Dame?
No, yeah,
I like Dame.
No, I'm gonna forward you the link. It's a great article.
Right, it
dives into his whole background. But
well, see, I think that's it. Yeah,
it talks about how him and Dame became friends at the gym like a year ago. Before,
why the fuck didn't he mention that?
And Dame is quoted like numerous times in the article vouching for Shield Tile as like a good guy, authentic.
Oh,
one of us. Literally used the quote, he's one of us. And it lends more to your theory about will Dame be joining this ownership group later on. He's already buddies with Shield Tile.
Question for this, I just had this thought. Should Dame have been at the podium for this? So they had Dwayne Hankins, right?
Dwayne Hankins.
They had, was Cronin up there?
Joe Cronin
was up there. No Dame?
No Dame.
Honestly, he's a player. He's not part of the front office, but he is.
I think it was I think it was the right call.
I think so too. Do you think they thought about it?
I bet maybe just a thought.
Even just what you said about his relationship with Shield is like that. I think it would have been interesting. This is all. I thought the whole press conference was mostly pretty good. By the way, I more positive than negative.
It was like a nothing burger in a good sense.
In a good way. I think that there could have been a thought of like Shield. Maybe dial back your Portland stuff a little bit. We're gonna have Dame up here, and Dame mentioned that what you just said. Man, I've been at the gym with this dude. Like, I've seen this guy sweaty. He's a real guy. We've been in the sauna together and had real conversations happen in the sauna. Everybody, we know that. And just because our culture doesn't embrace sauna like Scandinavian culture does, we don't know what we're missing out on. But I think maybe it should have been a thought. But like, I think that the conservative answer is Dame is not part of the front office. So
yeah, like it would have just been.
But he is kind of
playing right now.
You know that he is kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair,
it probably would have helped people feel even better about the team staying if Dame was up there. But like,
I don't think I think that like it's funny that now we're just parsing this, but I think there are very few players on teams who could appear at the podium in a press conference like this, other than Dame for Portland. Very, very few players. Steph for Golden State. That would work. Thinking.
Not LeBron. If LeBron was still in Cleveland, maybe LeBron then. I'm thinking like if back when Dirk Nowitzki played, if he was with Dallas,
that would work. That would have worked. But active players in the NBA who could credibly, and this isn't just about they played the whole career there. It's like they care about the city, they care about the franchise. Steph, Dame, end of list.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, seriously though, like I don't think any. I mean, you would have had some people in the internet, in the blogosphere, maybe criticizing it, but not very many. I think that think he carries enough credibility. They decided not to. Who knows if they even consider it? I bet they did. And they decided not to, which is a more conservative move. Can I just quickly criticize Cronin's, Shield Tile's comment about Portland as a city?
Go ahead.
Listen, buddy. You've been here 2 years. What are you talking about? Oh, Portland used to be. Portland was. Could once again. You've been here 2 years. The fuck are you talking about, bro? You haven't seen anything. Like, that was so strange to me because what's the Portland that he's referencing? Is he referencing the Portland from 2 years ago? Because, legitimate criticism to be had about, Portland and, especially there were, times during COVID where it was hard. And I don't think that we should sugarcoat that. And especially like you talk about the downtown core of Portland became pretty isolated and desolate. And it was rough, for sure. That's not a unique experience just to Portland. I think you could argue that maybe Portland's recovery has been slower than some cities. That's legitimate criticism. But my point is like, bro, you've been here 2 years, so what is it that you're referencing exactly? And I would argue as someone who has lived here, who does live here, who lived downtown during COVID, the beginning and middle of COVID, and that when I go on runs and I go on bikes downtown, which I do multiple times a week, I wouldn't say like Portland is back, all caps, but it is more back now than it's been in a while, and you can feel it. It's not just what it looks like, it's what it feels like. It's because of the people, it's because of the vibe, and for this dude to come in, Mr. 2 years in the town, to say, Portland was once great, and we can make it great again, I bristled so hard at that. I just thought it was tone deaf and weird, and I think wrong message, wrong messenger. Why did you say that? Who was that message for? And that last one, Connor, who was the message for? Wealthy people, and I really didn't like it. I didn't like it. Yeah, while acknowledging, I agree with your points. Yeah!
But with a little bit of devil's advocate.
Oh!
I do like... And I think it came across better in that article.
I love how this is so great. You can do so much stuff in person.
Zoom sucks. Anyway,
yeah, it does. This is better.
In the article, the message I thought came across better because he gave kind of the same spiel in the Jason Quick athletic profile.
Does that matter when it comes across in person?
Yes, but it was annoying because...
Are you like giving him grace because it's live and it may have been...
No. Okay. Just like...
Which that would be a fine...
I just felt better because in the article he talked about kind of the same points, but he said like he brought up the housing issue.
Yeah.
He brought up the drug issue, and it was like I was actually happy that. Yeah, he was acknowledging problems that Portland has.
Acknowledging problems Portland has is we need that, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that.
And
that's not my.
It's kind of like wrong messenger, like a little bit of wrong messenger.
I was mostly confused on what version of Portland he was referencing. He's been here for 2 years.
Yeah, maybe it's like
because it's better now than it was 2 years ago.
Maybe like 2012 Portland. I don't know.
And also like part of this too, and this is maybe a bigger conversation for a different podcast, but like the life cycles of cities and growth and expansion and decline and change, like. Portland, there's a version of Portland that people have in their minds which never existed.
Yeah.
Which is a utopia of affordable housing and affordable kind of quasi-industrial places where creative artists are making incredible art and doing stuff and they're on the scene and there's no crime and there's no litter and there's no visible homelessness and everyone has a home. There's this version of Portland which just doesn't exist, and like the version of Portland that people most often reference as being like the heyday, it coincided with, in my view, and someone can correct me if this framing is off, the creative class of Portland that came up because there were parts of Portland that had particularly low property values, and so rent was cheaper, and you had this kind of creative class coming up. And that causes more development and gentrification and displacement. And now stuff is becoming less affordable. And those same people who change parts of the neighborhoods are now being pushed out of those neighborhoods. That's also pushing out working class people. That like this happens in tons of American cities. It's happened in New York. It's happened in name the city. And so what I'm trying to say is that like there is no version of Portland that was all good. There's no version of Portland that's all bad. Mm-hmm. And like, especially when people are like, I hear people say like, Portland in the 90s was so great. It's like, Portland in the 90s was quantifiably much more dangerous than it is today. Much more dangerous. That's what the stats say. And all to say, like, when he says, MAPA, when he says make Portland great again, which again, he didn't say those words, but it came across very annoyingly that way. I'm just like, Portland is an evolving city. It's definitely got some struggles and challenges. Some of those are not unique to Portland. Some of them are. It's okay to acknowledge those, but I really just didn't appreciate that. Like, man, Portland used to be so good. It's like, what are you talking about? When? When are you talking about? So, sorry, I'm opining a lot, but...
No, and yeah, I mean, I'm glad you brought up that side, because I think it deserves to be called out. He did talk about the Blazers being a part of helping make Portland better. And
that's great.
And I love that.
Loving it, yeah.
I love that they're containing some of that view as the Blazers' objectives. It's not just about...
Can I connect that to a Moda Center thought?
Yes.
And it's not something that we have not talked about in the podcast before. Is Connor, I just want to point out, I'm trying really hard. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing a lot of this.
Oh, we still got that one. Okay.
And that one. And so, again, for people who are listening, we're trying out. We're in person. We're trying something out. The audio may be different. So we're going to get used to it as time goes on. This is literally just beta testing. So if I'm not looking directly at you because I'm looking over here, then I apologize. But
all good.
We've talked about it before. The Moda Center and the funding, $600 million. The state has passed its portion of it. It's now up to Multnomah County and the city of Portland to contribute a non-insignificant amount of funding to the $600 million. I think the numbers we've heard bandied about is Portland is expected to be on the hook for $100 million or more? Question mark?
I forget what the number is.
It was something like that. And so to your point about what Shield Tile was saying about like the Blazers could be a part of Portland becoming better, which is messaging that I very much appreciate and agree with. I want them to think about as the city of Portland negotiates in good faith with the Blazers, with Tom Dundon, who I trust is negotiating in good faith. That's what I took from this press conference, which surprised me, and I'm super happy to say that. I need Portland to please be good stewards of public money, which means putting some pressure on the Blazers to contribute something to this deal. And part of that something, Connor, to Shield Tile's point about making Portland better and the Blazers being part of that, could be the development of Lower Albina and the development of the area in and around the Moda Center. Now, as we know, don't need to do a whole history lesson, but like where the Moda Center and Memorial Coliseum and Portland Public Schools headquarters and I-5, where all of that is, was once a connected neighborhood, and it was a mostly black neighborhood. They had shops, they had banks, they had houses, they had apartments. It was an interconnected neighborhood, Lower Albina, that connected Inner East Side with the water. And very intentionally, the city, the state, and the federal government bulldozed people's houses, people's businesses, to then flatten it and have a land grab and redevelop it into what was then Memorial Coliseum and I-5 and other things. I'm saying all this because this was not done on accident. It was done on purpose. And it's a terrible legacy of Portland's history with urban renewal, and that is not unique to Portland. That had happened in basically every major city in the U.S. So I say all this to say there's a group called Albina Vision Trust. They own some buildings. They're trying to reconnect these neighborhoods that were split by I-5. There's an ODOT project that wants to create a highway cap over the interstate to reconnect some of those neighborhoods as well. The Blazers have entered into a partnership. Here come the Blazers. Entered into a partnership called the Albina Rose Alliance, which ostensibly is a way for the Blazers to invest into some of this redevelopment and to make a area in and around the Moda Center that's thriving, that has businesses again, that has people, that has apartments, that has housing, that's walkable, that's livable. Which, by the way, Connor, if you think about going to a Blazers game right now, let's think about it. You go to a Blazers game. What are you doing before the game? What are you doing after the game? What is there in and around the Moda Center to do?
Only really Dr. Jack's.
Dr. Jack's! Or if you want to walk, you can walk, I guess, to Burgerville. Or you can walk to Spirit of 77, which is like not super close. And there are other businesses that are, quasi-walkable. But the point is, you didn't say it, I'll say it, nothing to do!
Yeah.
And so I do think that, finally bringing back to what Shield Tile said, when he said the Blazers could be a part of Portland becoming even better, that is what I would like to see in this deal, Connor. I would like to see a firm commitment around the regeneration and the regrowth of Lower Albina and all the neighborhoods in and around the Moda Center, which not only would provide more housing and more mixed-use development for people, would not only make that area more walkable, but guess what? Would be better for the Blazers, because I guarantee you, if you are able to make the Moda Center a center of like human activity, I think that that's good business for Blazers games and other stuff that happens there. I just do.
It seems like there's a lot of money on the table that the organization is just not capitalizing on.
100%.
And he did get a question about that because a reporter brought up how he renovated the area around the Carolina Hurricanes arena and kind of turned that into an entertainment district.
Yep.
And he gave like right now we're just focused on getting this lease and the renovations. Like we haven't put much thought into the entertainment district.
Right.
He did say though, like, that is my hobby. That's literally quote. That is my hobby though, and like we would be willing to look into that, as time goes on, and I believe that.
So, and one other thing, I'm getting a little esoteric here, but if you think about, I'm trying to remember. I'm sorry, I should have this, and I'm looking to you if you happen to know that this arena fund that was created at the legislature that's taking taxes from economic activity in and around Moda Center. I think that there's a time limit on how long. I think it's with the lease. I think it's 20 years worth of deferring those taxes into the arena fund. I don't know that off the top of my head, and it looks like maybe you don't either. That's okay. But here's my point. If you're able to develop that area and importantly get people to live in and around that area, you will have more funding available for this arena fund. It's going to generate more economic activity because then you're not just talking about capturing dollars of people going to the game. You are now creating secondary and tertiary economic activity for people who do not yet live there. Because I could see, Connor, imagine this. Imagine, and we're going long on this, and sorry, but I'm interested. Imagine that you, 10 years, and you are the lead reporter of ConorBurgan.com. You've created this media empire, and I'm like one of your interns or something, and you're still doing reporting at the game. So you decide, I'm going to live at the new Moda Tower. It's a 20-story residential commercial development that's right next door to the Moda Center. Brand new. As a part of this redevelopment, I'm making this all up. But if you... Okay, maybe this doesn't work for you specifically, but let's say that you lived in an apartment building right next to Moda. If I lived there, sometimes I would just want to go and hang out with people and maybe not even go to the game, but like do stuff in and around the Moda Center. And also, if I lived there, I would be way more likely to go to the game.
Yeah, or just...
Way more likely to go to the game.
Go to a bar to watch the game.
Go to the bar to watch the game.
Hang out with people. Yeah.
So all to say, I don't mean to be too harsh on Sheol Tile. I said my piece about what he did during the press conference. I hear what you're saying in good faith about like you appreciated some of what he said, and I do too. And I do want the Blazers. I desperately do want them to be a part of Portland becoming even better. And I think that is maybe a better way to frame it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think you summed it up.
Sorry, I talked a lot.
No. I mean, it's your wheelhouse, though. It's all about the city of Portland, and you literally work in city development, or have,
Yeah. I'm also doing something else.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But I also like the Blazers. Any more in the press conference?
Let's like maybe button it up nicely. Okay. So
Brandon, please shut up.
No. Just to like bring it back home, okay? You got takeaways. Dundon more likable than we expected.
Yes. Yeah.
Sheol Tile, good cop, bad cop, lover of Portland, friend of Dame. He's there to make everybody feel better that they're not going to move.
Yep.
Dundon, very focused on winning. That was like the big takeaway kind of the press conference. That was what they tried to focus on the most, was like, we are going to create a winner. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And there was an important point he made. He was asked about how long would that take? Would you make a big splash on the trade market or something?
Right. And he said
yes. He said there was a move at the at this past trade deadline that Joe told me about. I would probably be more likely to make that move. Like, I am more aggressive. That is exciting to hear.
Interesting. I have a guess as to what that may have been. Do you have any guesses?
Maybe Giannis, or something involved with the Giannis deal.
I think it may have been Giannis, and I also think that the Bucks. I expected, and I think I said this. I expected them to trade Giannis before the deadline out of respect for Giannis to get a shot in his prime to do something. I didn't anticipate the complete deterioration of the relationship between Giannis and the Bucks, which we have aggregated on Blazers Edge. It was a huge piece by Shams Charania, basically saying that relationship has become toxic. But I think the move may have been Giannis. I have no doubt that the Blazers tried. I have no doubt that Dame tried. I have no doubt they're going to try again this summer. I think the Blazers now have comparatively less leverage because the pool of potential suitors is larger.
But if you think about this, they might have more leverage because the Giannis relationship with the Bucks has deteriorated so much that maybe the Bucks are like, yeah, dude, we don't care whether you want to go to
whether you want our picks back.
Like whether you want to go to Portland or not, we're going to send you there because it's the best deal for us.
Because we need our picks back. Mm-hmm. Which, by the way, we didn't. We're probably running into time at some point, but like the NBA's potential proposed rule changes with the lottery and how that may or may not impact the Blazers.
Yeah, that's a whole deal.
Do we want to quickly hit that?
I feel like it's too much time.
Okay. All right, so Dundon willing to make a big splash. Does that not concern you somewhat? Does this not give off like Matt Ishbia vibes a little bit?
I mean, I would rather
who traded for KD and then actually and the Suns are doing
new owner syndrome. I mean, there's a fear, but I would rather them be more aggressive than not. So like overall, I think that's exciting to hear.
And I have not clarified my own thinking about this because on the one hand, Jody Allen's tenure was marked by aggressive mediocrity?
Aggressive non-aggression?
Mediocrity is not really fair even. It's like aggressive conservatism.
Yes.
And I don't mean that politically, I mean like, let's not do kind of anything.
After the Western Conference Finals run, like, it became just very much run it back.
Which I think that, like, I think most people, and us included, were kind of like, we would like to see a little bit more something. Mm-hmm. The reason why I'm of two minds about it, I'm concerned about a new owner who comes in thinking that they know what the deal is, making the wrong choice. I'm sorry, one more criticism of Dundon, actually, is when he said some version of, running an NBA team is just like running a business, and I know how to run a business. Connor, this sounds a lot like the billionaire syndrome of I got rich and therefore I'm good at all things. I don't disagree with him that there are tons of corollaries, of connections, of similarities between running a business and an NBA team, which is a business. But on the other hand, it is totally different. It's a totally limited market. You've got a very limited talent pool who make proportionately way more of the earnings compared to most labor markets in the U.S. Proportionately more, they have a 50-50 split revenue sharing with the owners. That is not typical. If we had 50-50 revenue sharing between labor in the U.S. and owners of companies, we'd be in a way better and different place. But we don't have that. So you have that. So players proportionally have more power. There's egos involved. It's very visible. Mm-hmm. This is not like any business, Connor. It's a different business. And it's not like hockey. This is NBA basketball. It's a major sport. So when he said that,
not a diss to hockey.
I'm sorry. But I'm not saying that hockey isn't cool. I'm just saying that it's like, I mean, basketball isn't football in the U.S. Like, football's up here. So, like, and I love basketball. So, but did that rub you the wrong way? That he's like, it's like any other business?
You didn't honestly, care? No, I didn't really care. Like, it's just what I expect him to say, a little bit. I'm just like, that's how you're probably going to feel.
You're a Dundon dude, huh?
No, I'm not a Dundon dude. Not a Dundon dude.
I'm not. And by the way, I'm not a Dundon dude. But like, I think just to reiterate that, like, I thought the press conference was pretty good. I liked how he came across. Mostly, I was surprised, happily surprised. I think it's fair to say that. And
I've joined the cautiously optimistic.
Cool.
But
you're okay with him being more aggressive?
Yes, because the other main takeaway is like he's engaged.
He does seem to care.
He seems to care a lot. There was a interaction brought up about how he was crying after he got a little emotional after they beat the Clippers in that big game.
Who asked that question? Was it
Jay Quick?
That was a cool. I like that question. Mm-hmm. That's not an easy question to ask.
Yes, he did. And then he had another one later about skin in the game that was really funny. It was like the most interesting.
I appreciated that question too.
I did. I think
that he. Sorry, did he have to frame it that way?
Yeah, and this is like I almost feel it's sacrilegious for me to critique anything that Jay Quick does, but I think I loved the point he was trying to make with the question. Yes. I understand why Dundon took it the wrong way because I think he could have phrased it a little just a little bit better.
I don't think that him phrasing it that way added anything, and it absolutely increased the risk of what definitely did happen, which was that Dundon was like, "What? Like, excuse me? Like, I think." But I like the question too. It's like, hey, you're asking the state and the county and the city, where are you in this?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think the answer saying 20-year lease. That's not what that means at all.
Is that skin in the game?
No.
Yeah.
That's not. And don't let anyone pretend that it is. So I did appreciate the question for that. All right. That's the press conference.
We should probably wrap it up, yeah.
I know that we started with what's coming up, but let's end with what's coming up. So
Blazers, Clippers.
Tomorrow, biggest game
Friday night
of the universe.
Biggest game.
Prediction. Yes or let's just win or loss. Do the Blazers win in this game or not?
I'm going to say win.
Yeah, I'm going to say win. They're at home. They know what the deal is.
Drew Holiday's going to show up. Denny Avdi's going to show up.
Shaden Sharp is now questionable?
Doubtful.
All right.
We'll get into that. We'll get into that another time.
Okay. Interesting. All right.
Right? I mean,
anything else?
What time is it?
It's time to go. Anything else before you break?
No. Hey, bring on the Clippers.
Bring on the Clippers.
Bring them on.
All right. Can I shake your hand?
Yes. This is
look at this. Yeah. Actually, do one more for the YouTube clip. We're going to shake each other's hand and then look at the screen. Yeah. We're in person. If you want to reach out to us, you can find me at 28... nope, don't come to my house. You can find us at WeLikeTheBlazers.com. You can find us on Blue Sky, Conor Bergen, Brandon Mullen. You can find us on YouTube. You can also find mostly Conor's work, but a little bit... So Conor's original work, some of my aggregation, and some of my own thoughts at BlazersEdge.com. And that's pretty much it. We appreciate you. Thanks for hanging in as we beta test this new in-studio thing. Conor, I like it. We have a lot of work to do to get it where we need it to go, but I like that we tried it.
I'll wear shoes next time, too, I realize. Maybe not.
Whatever. People like socks are good. You know, you're allowed to wear shoes, but like socks are comfortable. We'll figure it out. Appreciate you all. Thank you. Until next time, go Blazers.